My wife and I just watched a documentary about Mr. Rogers, Won't You Be My Neighbor. How many of you grew up watching Mr. Rogers, right? There's this part in the documentary where they talk about Mr. Rogers was watching what was really popular on children's television, and he noticed that just every second it was like jumping to a new scene, a new color, there was some action. And so when Mr. Rogers started his show, he did the exact opposite, right? I mean, what's the beginning of every episode of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood? He comes in, he takes off his coat, and he hangs it up, and he takes a cardigan out, and he puts it on, right? He goes and he sits down, and he takes off his shoes, and he slips on his inside shoes, right? Throws one to the other hand, right? And I've described it much faster than he does it, and it's felt too long, right? They showed in the documentary there was actually one scene on one of the episodes of Mr. Rogers that he said, have you ever wondered how long a minute is? And he pulled out an egg timer and he turned it to 1 minute and just held it there for an entire minute while it counted down, just looking at the camera like, this is a minute. And the speed that he went at was intentional, it was on purpose, because he wanted children to feel that they had a relationship with him and that they were loved. And probably the most moving part of that whole documentary, it's about this little boy who's very sick, he's in a wheelchair, and he's going to have this major surgery. And his parents say, before this major surgery, what do you want to do? What's something special you want to do? And he says, I want to meet Mr. Rogers. And so they ride into Mr. Rogers, their son's very sick, he's going to have a surgery, he would love to meet you. And he says, come up. And they think we're going to go in and, just meet him while he's in between takes or something. And he says, no, we're going to actually do a show together, and you sit right here, and I'm going to come out, and we'll talk, and maybe we'll sing a song. And I mean, that's how much planning went into it. And he came out, and he asked the boy about how he's doing, and he talked to him about his wheelchair, and he's just being very slow and taking time. And then he starts that song that Mr. Rogers sang, what I like about you is you. And the boy started singing with him. And towards the end of Mr. Rogers' life, there was a tribute to his life, and that boy, now a man, comes rolling out in his wheelchair. And what Mr. Rogers did is he took time to build relationships, and he understood that love has a speed, and it's slower than we are.